right, here's a video review for Transformers Legacy United Animated Universe Decepticon MOTORMASTER. I think I got all the words in there in the right order that time around. It's a very long title, but it's animated MOTORMASTER. Obviously a repaint, remold of the Legacy Animated Universe Optimus Prime. And here he is, and also an homage to, or copy of the BotCon animated MotorMaster figure from BotCon 2011, which has a lot of positive memories for me. One, BotCon 2011 was the first BotCon that I really attended. I had gone to 2007 peripherally to see the, because we went up to the Hasbro premiere for the first live-action Michael Bay Transformers movie. There was a special screening. It happened to be the same weekend as BotCon 2007. And some people got to see it as part of BotCon, but this was a separate Hasbro charity screening. But BotCon 2011 was the first one. We made the trip and attended the whole week. And it was very cool. I got Josh Keaton to sign a bunch of stuff. And this was the convention set. Also, I was friends with Derek Wyatt, God rest him. And he actually, well before the convention, before it was public knowledge, I knew what the set was going to be, and he shared with me a lot of the art for these characters. So I remember seeing MotorMaster, and he was all excited. I remember geeking out about him. He was all excited that he got the square head to work with the body and the design of it. So that was it's just fun memories. So I had to get the updated version. And honestly, I think there's some benefits to the updated version as well. I mean, obviously it's not exactly the same. It does have a big axe, but it doesn't form kind of the back of a truck like this does. He doesn't have the squirting water pistol or anything. But it's very clear, you can see the homage they're going for here. One of the benefits that I do like about this Legacy version here, make sure it's refocused in, that got really bright all of a sudden, is that the light bar, which was built in on this one as a hinged flap, and pinned on, I believe. This is a removable piece. It's something that I recognized, I noticed very easily on the when the Legacy Optimus came out. I'm like, that gives them more options to remold this. So if you don't want the light bar on top, you can pop that off and have a more flat, semi-truck looking cab for MotorMaster. So it's entirely up to you. I'm going to leave it on just for transformation and for the purposes of the review, but I like that you can take it off. It's got the same purple axe, or same axe that Optimus Prime does now, and mostly purple plastic with a little bit of silver paint. I do wish maybe it had a little bit more gray or silver on it to break it up. Like, I would like this to be the dark silver it is, and maybe some of these details painted more of a light gray to match the original toy. But all in all, it's the same axe you got with Prime, just in different colors, with the extendable handle and everything. And transformation is exactly the same. Aside from the head, the body itself is the same figure. So we'll just come back here. We'll pop the legs off. I'm not to pop them off, but unpeg the legs, unpeg them down here. Snap this around, lift the foot up. Fold these panels around like that. And then hinge the foot back at the ankle. Same over here. Fold these around. And then pull the ankle back, fold it forward. For the feet, unpeg the torso here from the front end of the body, and then we'll go ahead and pop this panel up like that, pull the chest plate off, fold this back. You can see that square head hanging out there in the torso. Flip the wheels up, unpeg these, untab the arms, there's a little tab here, untab that from the wheels, and then you can bring these down, open the wheels up. Rotate the torso around at this joint. He does have a waist swivel, and mine had the same problem with Optimus at first, where turning it one way would cause it to pop out, but just kind of taking it like this and doing this a few times wore down whatever nub was causing it to force itself out. But anyway, rotate the torso around like this, bring this all the way down, and then this little peg right here is going to go in this little slot right here when you've got it lined up properly. But you want to bring this all the way down like this, and this all the way down like this, and then fold this all the way up into the body. So you don't want this pegging into the wheel. You want it pegging into the actual slot on the wheel hub. Come on. There we go. And it'll lock in fairly securely like that. Then you can bring the chest down and plug it in. Fold this down onto his back, which also pegs in. There's a couple tabs on the wheels, and you'll know you've got it all lined up properly when this pegs in properly. There we go. And then bring the arms around and down. And then open up the forearm, flip the fists out, and then close the forearm back up. And there he is in robot mode. And we can give him his axe. There's a couple of thick parts on the axe. You can have him hold it down here. There's a thicker part of the shaft down here, and there's also one right up against this. So if you push it all the way down and make sure this stays out, you can pull it and have him hold it. If you want the extended long handle axe, it still holds it very securely. Or you can kind of get him to hold it by just the short peg when it's collapsed, but he doesn't get as much of the thicker part in his fist. But there he is, all armored up and ready to go. And he's quite posable overall. He's got the dual hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows. He does have a wrist swivel. He's actually got a ball joint there, I think, on the wrist. Maybe it does just peg on. Well, no, because it flips out on a ball joint, I believe. Yeah, it's on a ball joint, but because of the way flat fist against flat panel doesn't really give it much wiggle room other than a swivel. He's got a ball joint at the neck, which is really nice. It lets him really look around, unlike the previous version. Waist swivel, dual hinge hips, thigh swivel, decently posable knees. They go well past 90 degrees. And then you got some ankle tilt there on the foot as well as some front and back. So he's very solid and very posable here in his robot mode. And all in all, like, I really like the way this looks. I feel like I know there were some issues. People didn't like how animated Legacy Optimus Prime came out. And to be fair, I get it. It didn't quite match the real smooth lines that Animated had and that the original toys had. That said, MotorMaster here, I think the Legacy design cues, they're a little bit more angular, they're a little bit harder edged, I think works really well with this head. I think it works better with this head than even the original did, and I love the original. And speaking of, here are the two of them side by side. Technically both Voyager class, like his head can turn side to side, but doesn't have quite the range of motion that this one has. And you can see like the colors on the Legacy are a little darker. The black's a little darker, whereas here it's on the original animated toy, it's a very, very dark smoky color. Like it's black, but it's like a smoky black, whereas here it's very shiny, dark black. And you can see the purple's a little darker, the green, the highlights are a little more saturated. They're not quite as... The greens on the Botcon toy are kind of Constructicon yellow green, whereas here they're a very bright neon green. The purples are a little bit more purpley. They're a little less gray. On the painted bits, the legs, you can see this purple is just a much harder, darker purple. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just pointing, you can see on the face, he's got kind of a pinkish purple, where here he's got a little bit, I guess maybe a little bit more red in it. I'm not sure, but also the biggest point of difference is he just has a regular Decepticon symbol. He doesn't have the little emblem Stunticon symbol on him, which I would have liked to have seen that replicated. But all in all, like I said, I think this is a really fantastic representation of the character. It's a fun toy. Like, even if you didn't care for the Legacy Optimus Prime, I think it really works as MotorMaster. I think that body, just the bulky body and the square head, really, really works for him in this iteration of the toy. And this use of the mold, I guess is what I meant to say there. See if I can get this to lock in just a smidge better. And just for the fun of it, since we're going to go ahead and compare him, of course, with the Legacy Optimus Prime, to show off what they look like next to each other. MotorMaster looks a little taller, although it is clearly just his head. He's not physically any bigger than Optimus. And if you look at the top of the vehicle of the robot mode chest, it's about the same place. He's just got a taller head, I guess. Optimus Prime's head, Optimus's head does sit a little bit closer to the neck, And so even if it's physically comparable, it's sitting a little closer to the body than MOTORMASTER's is right now. And it's not because it's popped off, it's just how the head fits. And then just for the fun of it, because I had them both accessible, here they are with their respective originals. Let's go ahead and pop his mask down just to show off the faces. So yeah. Like, I can agree with people that, like, when I think of animated Optimus Prime, like, I do like this head sculpt on him. Although, again, it's not quite accurate, you can see. But, like, in the terms of Legacy Optimus Prime, I do think this is a downgrade to the original. I think this is, I mean, if you can get your hands on the BotCon MOTORMASTER, I highly recommend doing it. It's a fantastic set. And they all worked really well together, seeing them in the animated style. But all in all, I do think of these two Legacy figures, MOTORMASTER is worth picking up. Prime is kind of like, if you like Optimus Prime or you really have an attachment to the character, he's not a bad toy. It's fun. But if you don't have him or you didn't pick him up for various other reasons, MOTORMASTER is worth picking up. I really, really like how that head works on this body. I like the color choices, and he's just a lot of fun. And like I said, you can pop that light bar off like you couldn't on the original and have him as be more of a semi-truck. So yeah, definitely worth grabbing. It just came out. Amazon delivered this afternoon, and I've been having a good time with them all afternoon. But there is Transformers Legacy United Animated Universe Decepticon MOTORMASTER. Like I said, check him out. Even if you gave Optimus a pass, check out MOTORMASTER. I think he's really fun.